Hi yogis, welcome to my class. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Sam and I'm recording one of the stretch, relax and restore sessions today. So welcome, thank you for joining me. And today's session we are going to be definitely needing a belt, so if you don't have a belt just find something that you can improvise with, a block and a rolled up blanket. So if you don't have a block, a cushion, pillow will be absolutely fine too. So grab your props together and we'll get started. So we're very much looking at how we can relax our body, release that tension, but at the same time build a little bit of strength into our bodies, a little bit of flexibility, and then towards the end really working with the fascia, that interconnective tissue that does tend to become quite tight. So as we progress near the end of the class, we're going to be holding the poses for a little bit longer. To start off with though, I want you to come into butterfly pose. So grab whatever you're using for a block, place that towards the top of your mat, and then with your rolled up blanket, just place that in front, right slap bang in the middle of your mat. Just take the base of the spine to where your rolled up blanket is, and we're going to just gently lower ourselves down so that the blanket is completely up the middle of your spine. And then with your block or whatever you're using for the prop today, just place your head onto that. Cozy yourself down, and what you're looking for is to make sure that your neck is nice and free, so nothing is supporting the neck, and we're allowing that neck to be nice and long and lengthened. So just gently dipping the chin down towards our chest and just feeling that lengthening through the whole spine, the whole of the upper part of our bodies. Take the palms maybe a little away from the body and think about just relaxing through the shoulders. So we're trying to draw those shoulders away from our ears. Take a few breaths to just allow that top part of the body to settle in. Fidget maybe and just move any of the props that don't feel quite right, because we're here for a few minutes. Once the top part is ready, you have got some choices. Some people I know suffer with discomfort in the lower part of the spine, in which case having the knees bent and the feet drawing towards the hips and having the legs about hip distance apart is going to be enough for you today. If not, if you feel that you can bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to just drop out to the side, so into your butterfly position, do so. And again, just take a few moments, a few deep breaths here to just really feel that your body is comfortable, that you're cozied down, and that you're going to be able to relax in this position. And once you have, I want you to just start to allow your body to soften, to give your body permission to relax, to release, and to just totally let go. Start to come into tune with how your body is feeling. Become aware of any tension that you're holding within your body. So any of the joints that may feel a little bit uncomfortable, any of the muscles, any tension that you've stored there. And try and soften it. So just allow those parts of the body, give them permission to relax, to release. Once you feel that the body is softened, the body is relaxing, start to focus on your breathing. How is your breathing today? Just take a few moments to take notice of how fast your breath is. Whether you're breathing in through your nose or your mouth. There's a lot of allergies around, it's hay fever season, so just take notice of how that breath is. How does it feel as it enters the body, as it travels around the body? And again, how does it feel as it exits the body? So in our everyday lives, we tend to breathe very quickly, very rapidly. We're not using that full lung capacity. And we want to now be switching on our parasympathetic nervous system by using our breath. So we're going to concentrate on those breaths. So start to take some nice deep inhalations, flooding the lungs, and just feeling the belly raising up. And then long, slow exhalations, just exhaling every last drop of that breath back out of our systems. Try to slow the breathing down a little bit. And think about breathing in our futures, new beginnings, fresh starts. And exhaling away our past, any tension, any pent-up emotions that you're holding on to. Keep that breath going. Soften the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders. And as you breathe in with the exhales, try and exhale away that tension that you felt when you did your body scan at the beginning. So nice deep and full inhalations, breathing in that calmness, slowing the breath down, filling the lungs, feeling the belly raising. And then really slow and full exhalations, just exhaling away that tension, that stress. Keep those breaths going. The healing power of our breath. Now trying to think about balancing the breath. So we want the exhales to be the same length of time as our inhales. Just creating that calmness, serenity within our bodies, with our nervous system. Allowing our mind to focus on our breath. So just become aware of any thoughts that cross your mind, but then just allow them to pass. Focus of breath. Hopefully by now you have found that flow, that balance, inhaling and exhaling to the same amount of time, and hopefully too you're feeling that sense of calmness sweeping through. And we very much want to focus on keeping that calmness right through our practice today. Your knees are winged out to the side, just take your hands to the outside of your thighs, push the legs back up so the knees are facing up towards the sky. Take a nice inhalation and float the arms up towards the sky, really push the feet into the mat, and then on the exhale just allow the arms to float back behind you, just coming into a really lovely stretch. And just feeling the shoulders, that upper body. Start to open up, to stretch that little bit more. We're going to hold this pose for a couple of breaths. And as you do, still feel that really inflation of the belly. We're using that full lung capacity. We're stretching with each inhale. And then on the exhale, just gently allow the arms, the shoulders to soften into that position. So inhale, just lengthening that little bit more. then exhale, softening. A couple more breaths like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. Next inhale, float the arms up towards the sky. And on the exhale, float the palms down beside you on the mat. It's comfortable for the lower back. Start to extend through the legs. So pushing the heels to the bottom of the mat. And then pointing through your toes. You're going to inhale, just stretch those legs a little bit more. Point the toes a little bit more. Really engage through the muscles so you feel that the muscles in your legs are tightening. And then on the exhale, just gently allow the bottom part of your body to relax. So inhale, starting to activate the muscles, pointing the toes. And exhale, relaxing. Keep the top part of your body nice and relaxed, just the bottom working. So inhale, pointing the toes, flexing the feet. Exhale, relaxing the bottom part. Last one. Inhale, pointing, breathing in, and exhale, releasing, relaxing. Gently walk the feet back up towards the hips. Push the forearms into the floor and gently push yourself into an upright seated position. I'm going to turn to face you so that you can see what I'm doing, but you can just stay in the same position with your face towards the bottom of your mat. So just move your props out of the way for a moment. We will use them a little bit later on. And a lot of you have had requests sent across to me for really working into the upper part of our body. A lot of us are really clenched over at the moment, so we will be looking at how we can just release that tension in the shoulders, which we did very much with the butterfly pose at the start. I've also had a request for working into the hips, which again butterfly did start to do. And also very much the hamstrings. A lot of you are finding that your hamstrings are really, really tight. So we'll be looking at all aspects of those elements of our bodies as well as working the rest. But to start off with now, just find that nice upright position. If you know that you feel that you're rounding through the spine and the belly is arching backwards, to just lift the hips up and straighten the spine, sit on top of your block or your cushion. And that will really help to just push the hips forward, lengthen through the spine. If not, legs, ideally we want to have our legs cross-legged. I know that that's not an option for some of you, so just find that position with your legs that is going to be comfortable for you. And then think about just coming up onto your sit bones, really lengthening through the spine, taking a nice big inhale, sitting up tall. So you want your chin parallels to the floor, so your gaze is forwards and the crown of your head feel like it's being pulled up towards the sky. Place your hands onto your knees. And we're just going to take a few shoulder rolls here. So we're inhaling and just allowing the shoulders to float up towards the ears. And then on the exhale, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other behind you, dropping the shoulders down. So just really lovely big circles. And just use the speed of your breath. So we're not moving super quickly. Inhales, they're coming up. And exhales, floating down. Couple more like that in this direction. You can hear snap, crackle and pop coming from mine. And then we're going to reverse that action. So we're coming forwards and bringing the shoulders up underneath our chin and down. But all the time you want to keep that lengthening through the spine. So try not to arch through the spine or lean forwards. Just the shoulders moving. Everything else is pretty much staying as it was. And two more like this. Yeah, just come into that nice neutral upright position. And you want to think about just pushing the shoulder blades away from the ears. So we're making that space in between the ears and the shoulder blades nice and lengthened. So squaring the shoulders off here. We want to keep that squareness through our shoulders. So just place the right hand back onto your right knee. With the left hand, I want you to just pop it onto the floor, cupcake your fingers, walk those fingers in line with your hip along the mat. So you're feeling that lengthening through the arm. Remember, those shoulders are nice and squared off. Good. Take a big inhale, sit up even taller. And on the exhale, we're just going to drop our right ear to our right shoulder. So nothing else is moving other than your head and your neck. You're still looking forwards. And start to breathe. We're here for a few breaths. So with each inhale, maybe sit up a little taller, find that length, that space. And maybe on the exhale, you can just take that ear a little bit closer to your right shoulder, but just avoid lifting the shoulder up to meet the ear. Yeah, the ear is dropping down to meet the shoulder. Maybe you can walk the fingers a little bit further away. And breathe. So you should feel that lovely stretch. Maybe that hurt so good sensation across the left shoulder. We're activating through that left arm, but also using it to incorporate a deeper stretch. And all the time, that breath is balanced. Those inhales are deep, those exhales are full and slow. So don't overforce it, just work with your body. Your body will tell you when to stop. One more nice, deep, full round on this side. Inhalation, floating the head nice and slowly up. So don't give yourself whiplash. Placing the left hand onto your left knee and then using the right hand, walking the fingers away, making sure those shoulders are squared off. Taking another inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And on the exhale, we're taking the opposite side. So left ear to left shoulder. Breathing in, lifting up, lengthening through. Exhale, just allowing the body to settle. And just relaxing into that stretch. And again, we're here for a few more deep and full breaths. You can always close your eyes. Allow the mind to focus on your breathing, try not to allow it to wander off. Last round of breath, so one full inhale and one full exhale. And then inhaling, floating the head up. And just bringing the hands to our heart center. Taking a lovely deep inhale, lengthening, sitting up even taller, and on the exhale, just gently bow the head down. So again, shoulders stay put, it's just the chin coming down towards the chest. Feeling that lengthening now through the back of the neck. Breathe in and breathe out. One more full round of breath here. And next inhalation, gently float in. That gaze back up to center point. We're going to place our hands in front of us. You can take a nice big inhale, sit up tall, and on the exhale, start to walk your fingers forwards. So coming into a nice forward stretch, stretching through the arms, really pushing the tailbone back in towards the floor. And once you feel that that stretch has completed, that you can go no further, then just allowing the head to bow down. So again, with each inhale, maybe lengthening that little bit more, stretching that little bit more, and with your exhale, softening into that space that you have just made. One more full round of breath. inhale, just gently raise the chin to look towards your hands, and then slowly start to walk the hands backwards, floating your body into that upright position. Good, so we've worked into our hips a little bit. Now we want to just correct that positioning by switching legs, whichever leg was at the back, place to the front, vice versa, and then find that upright position again. It may feel a little bit awkward, a little bit unusual, it may feel like you're leaning slightly to one side more, but it's just helping to balance out those hips. Good, inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, just sinking into that pose, squaring off the shoulders again. We're going to inhale, float the arms out to the side, and as you do, feel like you're really extending through the arms. You feel the muscles in the arms starting to kick in. Palms facing up towards the sky, and then we're gently going to float the arms up. Bring the palms together. If it feels okay for your neck, by all means look up towards the palms, but don't feel that you have to. Whatever feels comfortable for your neck. And then exhale, just gently floating those arms down through our heart center. Good, a couple more like that. So inhale, that lengthening through the arms, floating the palms up and overhead. And then exhale, floating them down. Last one. Inhale, lengthen, push palms. And exhale, floating them down. Wonderful. We're going to place the right palm in line with our hip. If you're sat on something, you might need to have your fingers cupcaked so that you can reach. You want to make sure that that spine is lengthened, so no hunching again. Keep the spine nice and upright. So placing the palm down, we're going to inhale the left arm up. Really lengthen through. Feel that side body starting to stretch. We're really pushing the left bum cheek into the floor, and on the exhale, you're leaning over to the right. So keep your hand, your right hand in line with your right hip. Try and keep your right ear in line with that right shoulder, and then the left tricep, the left arm in line with the left ear. So we're going sideways, we're not leaning forwards, we're not leaning back. We're just really working that side body, feeling that stretch right from the tips of our left fingers, down the left arm, across that left side body into the left hip. And if you want to deepen that, you can always just gently look up towards your armpit, but don't feel you have to. Perfect. Inhale, floating the arms up through that center point. Exhale over to the other side, left hand down. Big inhale, raise the right arm up, lift, lengthen. And then on the exhale, start to lean over to the left hand side. And again, if you want to intensify it, you can just gently turn your gaze to the right. Perfect. Next, inhale, floating up through center. Really lengthening through, and exhale, just drawing those palms to our heart center. We're going to come into little twists here. So, left hand, right knee. Inhale the right arm up towards the sky, and on the exhale, once you've lengthened through that spine, you're going to float the left arm behind you, cupcake your fingers in line with the back of your spine. Another in-breath, sit up tall, and on the exhale, gently twist to look over your right shoulder. So we're going to do this in stages. We don't want to force ourselves into a twist. So with each in-breath, you're lifting up a little bit more. You're making that space in your body so that maybe on the exhales you can twist a little bit further. So your ground hand, the hand that's on the knee, you can use that to just help a little bit more leverage as the body starts to open up. So as we all know, these spinal twists are amazingly good for our body. Just really helps to release the whole of the spine. Allows the fluid to just work its way in between our discs. One more breath. So nice big inhale, sit up even taller, and maybe on the exhale, see if you can just make that final deeper twist. Perfect. Next in-breath, just floating back through center, palms to our heart center, and over to the other side. So right hand, left knee. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, lengthen. Exhale, float. the left arm behind you. Another big inhale, sit up tall, and then on your exhale, start to twist. Inhale, lengthen, make that space. Exhale, maybe twist that a little bit deeper. Last in-breath, so sit up even taller. Exhale, maybe just try for that little edge of a deeper twist. And then inhale, floating back through center. We're going to place the palms onto the floor, and again we're going to come into that forward fold. So inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, walk the palms forward, stretch through. Once you've hit that point where you can stretch no more, that's when you release and soften the body down. Float the head down. Push your tailbone back into the floor. In breath, just gently bringing your gaze to your hands and slowly starting to walk the hands towards you to come back into an upright position. Final inhale out to the side with the hands, palms go up to meet, and exhale, floating down. Okay, we're going to roll ourselves onto our knees into tabletop position. So if you know that your knee's a little bit delicate, you can always unroll your blanket, pop your blanket underneath your knees. I'm just going to take the toes together, the knees apart, and come into a nice child's pose to start off with. So just allow the knees to be as wide as is comfortable for you. The wider the knees, the more you're going to be working into the hips. Allow the heels to just drop to hips to heels. And just take a moment to just sink the hips in, just find that positioning. So nice and gently into this pose. Then walking the hands forwards, lengthening through, so quite an active stretch to start off with. And then once you've hit that point where you feel that any more is going to be uncomfortable, start to soften, start to pacify the pose. Float the head down. And we're here for 2 or 3 breaths, guys. So really sink into it. If you want to work a little bit deeper into your shoulders, you can always bring the palms together and place the palms above your head. So whatever works for you, either the arms outstretched or palms above the head. Next inhale, just very gently starting to stack yourself through into tabletop, neutral tabletop. So remember, just really spread through those fingers. We're stacking our shoulders above our wrists and our hips above our knees. And you want to have your legs about hip distance apart too. Really push the tops of the feet into the floor. And we're just going to gently sway our hips from side to side, or just make circles with your hips. So whatever feels good for you to start to loosen up the lower part of the body from where we were sitting. I'm going to make some figure of 8s with my body. In one direction and then back in the other, but you can just sway the hips from side to side. You can make it that movement as animated or slow as you need to just start to release the base of the spine, the hips. And once you've finished relaxing through, come into neutral tabletop. So I know a few of you when we were in class, you do struggle with actually coming into tabletop position where the palms are down like this. And if that's the case, if you're still struggling, remember you can always come up onto the knuckles. That will just help release that tension in the base of our wrist. But it is very good for us. We do want to be working into our hands. So if possible, if you can work with that even for just a little while, I promise you it is very good for you. Good, so we want to be sure that we are activating through our core. So pull the belly button in towards the spine. At the same time, you want to feel like you're squeezing the adductors, the inside of your thighs together, and you are pulling up through the pelvis. So really engaging what's called our mula bandha, just engaging through the whole body, and you'll feel the whole of your core muscles start to tighten, and that's what we're looking for, that stability. Good. Once you have your balance, think about just relaxing the shoulders, pushing the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening through the neck. So you don't want to be looking up, you don't want to be looking down. You want that lengthen of the neck, that extension through the rest of the spine. We're going to take another in-breath and just lengthen through our left arm. So think about just lengthening through. You want to try and imagine that your left arm is in line with the rest of your spine. Really push that right hand into the floor. So you're pushing the whole palm, the knuckles down. Don't just lean on your heel of your hand, your wrist. Good, and then we're gonna just take the right leg back and just come up onto the toes of the right leg. Good, once you're here, just double check that that core is activated. You feel that balance and start to push back the heel on the right foot. So you're balancing on your toes, you're just gently pushing your body back a little bit, but lengthening through that left arm. So you feel that stretch right at the back of your leg, your hamstrings. Perfect, and then just coming back up onto your toes, releasing the left hand, replacing it back underneath the left shoulder. We're going to take our right foot and we're going to pick it up and just pop it over the left leg and take it as far as you can over to the left hand side. So still up on your toes. Try and push the right hip though back in line with the left hip, so your hips are in alignment. You're really pushing the top of the left foot into the floor for stability. And you can either stay here, or if you want to just turn it into a little bit more of a twist, just turn the head to the left and see if you can just find your right toes in your eye's view. Try not to allow that right shoulder to roll around though, so we're keeping the right shoulder in line with the left, and we're just finding that really lovely stretch over your right hip. Perfect. One more inhale. One more full exhale. Next in breath, just floating the right leg back in line and dropping the right knee back underneath our right hip. Good. So we're going to take the left knee behind the right knee. Hug the thighs together. Take an in breath and float the left arm up towards the sky. If it feels okay, look up towards those left fingers. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Use the top of your feet to really push into the floor, and try and draw the left shoulder away and back. So we're drawing the right one through, left one back, gazing up if it's good for the neck. Good, one more full inhale. And on the exhale, floating the left hand down, placing the right knee. Toes together, knees apart, push the hips back to the heels. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to thread it in between the left hand and the left knee. So thread the needle on this side. We're coming down onto our right shoulder, the right side of our head, lengthening through that left hand. Or if you want to take it into more of a bind, you can just lift the arm up and tuck it behind the back into the top of the right thigh. Breathe in, keeping those breaths deep and full. And we're here for a few breaths, guys, so try and soften into it, but at the same time, maybe just work on deepening that twist a little bit more. Last full round of breath. Next in breath, just replacing the left hand, unthreading the right arm and coming back into that neutral tabletop. So before we do the other side, we're going to do a few cat and cows just to release any tension we've built up. So push the shoulders back, inhale the chin up, belly comes down, tailbone floats up towards the sky. Exhale, chin to chest, arch through the spine, tailbone tucks down. So you're really pushing the hands into the mat as though you're pushing the floor away from you, arching that spine as much as you can, really pushing the tops of the feet into the floor. Good. Next inhale, chin up, belly down, tailbone goes up, push the shoulders back, and exhale, chin to chest, arching through. 2 more rounds like this, 2 more rounds of your cat and cow, just flowing with your breath. And just feeling that spine really starting to feel the stretch through, benefiting from the movement. So last one, we were meeting back together in neutral tabletop. Good, so lengthen through the neck again, and we're going to work on the other side this time. Okay, so remember, engage the core, belly button back towards the spine, really feel like you're squeezing the inner thighs. And we're going to inhale our right arm forwards, really lengthen through. Remember to push the whole of the left hand into the floor. The palm, the knuckles, push them down. Once you've got that balance, we're going to send the left foot back onto the toes of the left foot. And then start to push into that left heel. So you're gently sliding your hips back slightly to meet that left foot, but you're keeping your hips in alignment. So the right and the left are going back at the same time. You're lengthening through, you're feeling that stretch right up the back of the left leg this time. Couple of breaths here. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale, floating the right hand back underneath the right shoulder. We're lifting the left leg up and over the right. Take it as far as you can, up onto the toes, but try and keep that left hip in alignment with the right hip so you're not rolling the body back. Good, push into the hands, lengthen through, just push the shoulders back. And then see if you can maybe just turn the head to the right to look towards the left toes. Make sure that left shoulder isn't rolling. Push it back in line with the right. And just feel that beautiful stretch. Couple of breaths here. Perfect. Inhaling, just drawing the left leg back and then into tabletop, toes together, knees apart, pushing the hips to the heels. We're going to thread the needle on the other side. So left hand, thread it through in between right hand, right knee. Place the head down, the shoulder down on the left side. Really walk that right hand towards the top of the mat. And again, you can either stay here or really deepen that twist by taking the right hand up and over the spine, tucking the fingers into the top of the left thigh, and then relaxing into this stretch. When you're trying to work on opening up that left shoulder a little more, if you're working with a bind, still using the power of breath to help you to just relax, to soften, to deepen the pose. We're here for one more full round of breath. Yeah, next inhale, just replacing the right hand and threading the left, coming into tabletop. And just gently shaking the hips from side to side, releasing any tension, maybe just nodding or shaking the head to release any tension in the neck. And again, just making those movements to just help your body release. Perfect. Walk the knees towards the back of the wrists, pop yourself onto bottom. And grab hold of your belt. Make sure that your belt is to hand. So we're going to sit ourselves up nice and tall. Feet about hip distance apart. Draw the heels towards your bottom. And we're going to inhale and float the arms in front of us. We're going to come into boat pose. So just gently lean back a little bit. So feel like the whole spine is in alignment with the neck, leaning back just a little bit, and then engage those core muscles. So really pulling the belly button in towards the spine, feeling like these inner thighs are working for stability. Maybe leaning a little bit further back, and then floating the toes up in front of you. So you can always draw the feet a little closer together if that works for you. Relax the shoulders. And breathe, guys. Smile and breathe. If you need to pop your toes down at any time, feel free. Take a breather and then pop them back out. So we're going to inhale the arms out to the side, up and overhead, palms together. And then on the exhale, we're going to drop those palms over to the right side. So we're shaking, everybody's shaking, I'm shaking, that's good, that's muscles working. Beautiful. Inhale the palms up. Exhale over to the left hand side. Inhale the palms up and exhale palms together in front of your heart. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, float the feet down. Just open the knees a little bit and come into a nice forward fold. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a hug with the shins. Allow the head to drop down. Soften the shoulders, release any tension you have built up through that pose. Next in-breath, just gently start to float the head back up. Restack the feet, the knees. Inhale the arms out And on the exhale, gently float your body down onto your mat. So remember, have your belt to hand. Just gently, slowly floating everything down. Once you're down there, just cozy that back, the spine into the mat, into the floor. So feet together, knees bent, draw the heels towards your bottom. And we're going to just take the palms, the hands out to the side of the body, just a little lengthening through between the body and the arms, palms facing up. Engage the core. We're going to do some bridge poses here. So we're not using our arms for this one. Our arms are nice and relaxed. We're really working with that core. Really think about pushing the feet into the mat as though you're pushing the floor away from you. And then inhaling, raising the hips up towards the sky. Try not to allow the knees to knock together or to wing out to the side. You want to keep them nice and straight like railroads. Really push the hips up towards the sky. Make sure that neck is nice and lengthened, chin just gently dipping down towards the chest. No tension in the shoulders, the head, the neck. If there's any pain in the lower spine, this may not be a good move for you, so just gently lower yourself down. The rest of us, we're holding and breathing. Maybe just finding the space to lift those hips a little higher. Really feeling the tops of your legs starting to activate. Those muscles are nice and strong. The muscles in your glutes, so we're activating them through our bum cheeks. Squeeze. Squeezing the pelvic floor up. Raising the hips maybe that little bit higher. Beautiful. Inhale, raise those hips even higher. And then exhale, start to float the hips down onto the mat. Really slowly, one slow vertebra at a time. Once the hips are down, draw one knee into the chest, the other knee into the chest. Give yourself a little hug and squeeze. And then just gentle rocks from side to side. Any little movements to massage the spine, to release that tension. Maybe little hip rolls, whatever feels good for you. Good, float the soles of the feet back down. We're going to go through that once more. So feet hip distance apart. Take the arms a little away from the body, palms up. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen the neck. Activate into those core muscles. Really push the feet into the floor. Take an inhale and start to raise the hips up again. And breathe. Keep those deep and full breaths. This is actually quite a relaxing pose once you get used to it. It's very relaxing for the upper part of the body. Maybe push the hips a little higher, squeeze in to the glutes, firing up those bum cheeks, those thighs. Not allowing the knees to knock together or to widen too far. One more breath. Big inhale in, lift. And exhale, floating the hips down. Again, once they're down, drawing those knees into the chest. Little hug, little squeeze. A little rock from side to side. Float the feet down. So we're going to take the right leg and cross it over the left. Hug those inner thighs together. And then we're gently just going to allow our arms to float out a little wider to the side, palms up, and our knees to float over to the left-hand side. We want to make sure that that right shoulder doesn't roll up. So push the right shoulder into the floor. So we're twisting, another spinal twist here. And if it feels good, you can just allow your head to roll to the right-hand side, but you don't have to. You can just have your neck wherever feels comfortable. We're here for a few breaths. Think about sending the power of the breath to the base of the spine, just feeling that lovely relax. Next in breath, floating the legs back into center and crossing the right and crossing the left over the right. Relaxing the shoulders, allowing the knees to drop over to the right hand side, pushing that left shoulder into the floor, and then finding that position that feels comfortable for your neck. Maybe it's rolling it over to the left, maybe it's keeping it upright, or maybe it's even rolled over to the right. You choose. Think about sending the breath to the left hip. Perfect. Next in breath, floating everything back to that center point, drawing the knees back into the chest, another hug, another squeeze, maybe a little rock from side to side. And then coming into our happy baby. So drawing the knees towards the armpits, floating the soles of the feet up to the sky. And you want to have the knees nice and bent. So choices, depending on how long your arms are, you can either grab behind the back of your thighs and just gently pull the legs towards you, or maybe your arms are a little longer, maybe you can grab the soles of the feet, or even you can take your fingers and just clasp the big toe. So whatever works for you, lengthen the spine, the neck, chin dipping very gently down towards your chest again. And think about pushing the tailbone into the floor. Okay, we're here for a few breaths. So start to use that breath to help you soften, to deepen that pose. It's a happy baby, really working into those hips. So that interconnective tissue, that fascia, it literally holds us together. It's like an internal framework that holds your bones, your muscles, your ligaments, your joints, every last cell of your body together. And it gets very, very stiff. So by coming into these deeper poses, these deeper movements, it's just helping to release the fascia a little bit, to relax it a little bit, and so aid a little bit of freer movement with everything else, your muscles, your joints. It also releases any energy that is stuck, and we do tend to get a lot of energy stuck in our hips. Just allows that energy to be more free-flowing. Can release lots of emotions too, so if you feel a little bit like you want to cry when we're working into these deeper poses, that's absolutely fine. Just go ahead and do it. That's yoga working its magic. So don't be frightened if that ever happens to you in the deeper poses. Lovely. Just release whatever you're grabbing hold of. Take the hands to the outside of the knees. Push the knees together. Take a hand to each knee and just start to make circles with those knees in one direction. So just nice gentle circles, sending the knees in opposite directions. And then reversing those circles. So taking the knees, guiding them back, up and in and round. Lovely. Okay, so float the soles of the feet back onto the mat. Grab hold of your belts. And we're going to really work with coming into those stretches with our legs now. So take the belt, float the right foot up towards the sky, and as you do so, just place the belt on the ball of the foot. Shoot the leg up nice and straight, and you want to have your belt sort of equal distance dangling down. Make sure that the belt is on the ball of the foot and not the arch of the foot. The arch of the foot holds a lot of our nerves there, and it can be really, really uncomfortable. And we're going to activate into that left ankle, so we're really pushing the heel up towards the sky so that the toes are tipping gently down towards you. We want to keep the hips in alignment. So make sure that both hips are nice and squared to each other. Left leg, you can either keep it bent, or if you want to come into a deeper stretch, and again, don't feel like you have to, just start to lengthen the left leg on the mat. And if your left leg is lengthened, also activate that heel toe. So really kicking into the heel, flexing the four toes, heading up towards the sky. Good, so we don't want to be creating any tension in the upper body while we're doing this. So although you want to have a nice firm grip, we don't want it so firm that we then tension the upper body. So relax the shoulders, lengthen the neck, zip the chin, and gently guide that right leg towards you. Now we want to avoid completely locking our knees out. So just have a very gentle little micro bend in that right knee. Don't force the knee right backwards. We don't want to put any undue stress onto our joints, our ligaments. And I always like to just be able to have the strap where I can just have my elbows, the tops of my arms on the mat too. But it doesn't matter. If you want to have your arms up here, that's fine, but just don't create that tension. And we're going to start to breathe into this pose, okay? So really kicking that heel. So this is a great one for those of you that have been suffering with your hamstrings. So we're going to relax in. We're here for a couple of minutes, just working on the leg in this position. So soften the top part of the body. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. Focus on your breathing. So we're not forcing the body, we're just allowing gravity to work with our breath. As our breath softens, gravity will just take over and pull that leg closer towards you. So these deeper yin-based poses where we're holding the pose for that couple of minutes, they can be quite challenging in themselves, because you are having to hold a pose which may not be necessarily comfortable, but you're also having to hold that space. And that's where it can become quite difficult for some people. You tend to find the mind wanders off. So just again, take notice of any thoughts that cross your mind, but then try and allow them to pass. Don't interact with them. Just focus on your breath. Draw your awareness back into the here and the now. One more full round of breath. Okay, and then we're going to take the belt just in the right hand. Place the left hand down beside you on the mat, palm down for stability. And when you're ready, you're going to start to guide this right leg over to the right. Okay, it's not about how far you can go. It's about working with your body, just finding that place of stretch. You may need to just work the hand a little closer towards the foot with your belt. We're trying to keep that left hip glued to the floor though. If you notice that the left hip is rolling over, that your body's rolling over, you've gone too far. Pull yourself back. So engaging that left palm down on the floor and really gluing that left shoulder to the mat will just help you find the stability. So we're still working with our hips, working with the inside of our thighs, our adductors. Really still kicking into that heel, so we're still working on the hamstrings. And again, we're here for a minute or two, just allowing our breath and gravity to take control. in-breath, we're starting to just float the right leg up towards the sky, switching hands with the belt, so belt left hand, right hand, palm down beside you on the mat for stability. And if you have your left leg bent, you now need to straighten that out on the mat, so just lengthen through. And then we're going to guide our leg across the body over to the left. We're going to push that right shoulder into the mat, so we're not rolling. Again, it's not about how far you can go, it's about working with your body and finding that stretch that's good for you. We're all different body shapes. Everybody needs to stretch to a different degree. Really kick into those ankles, flexing through. And with your head, you can have your head wherever feels comfortable, so it can be gazing up towards the sky. You can twist it over to the right hand side if that feels good for your neck, or you can even twist it over to the left, but push that right shoulder into the floor. Start to focus on your breath. Allow your body to soften. Still working with the hamstrings, but now you'll just find that energy stretch is working along into your glutes. Just with these movements of our legs, we're just working all the sides of the leg. Final round of breath on this side. Perfect. Inhaling. Just rolling back onto your back, sending both legs up towards the sky and just switching feet mid-air. So allowing the right leg to come down. Just making sure that your hips are in alignment and then choosing as to whether you have the right leg bent or straightened, really kicking into the ankles, relaxing head, shoulders, just double checking that neck is nice and lengthened, and then that little micro bend in your left knee, and then just gently guiding the leg towards you, and again just finding that space, tuning into your breath. One more round of breath. And taking the belt into just the left hand, really pushing the right shoulder into the floor, placing the right palm down on the mat for stability, and then just gently allowing that left leg to float over to the left. Keep that ankle nice and active, keep that stretch going, and once you're in position, again, just allowing the body, gravity, the breath to take over, enjoying the silence, the quiet. Last round of breath. Inhaling the left leg up, switching hands with the belt, lengthening the right leg if it was bent, and in your own time just guiding the left leg over towards the right, pushing that right shoulder in towards the floor, and finding that place that's comfortable for your neck on this side. Really activate those heels, feel that stretch. Soften, breathe, just enjoy the moment. Last round of breath this side. On your inhale, just drawing the leg back up, releasing the belt, placing that to one side, drawing the knees into the chest. And just giving yourself another hug, another squeeze, and just enjoying the moment. Releasing any stiffness in the base of the spine. And at the same time, just deciding where you want to place yourself for your final relaxation today. So lots of choices, guys. You can pop yourself back into your butterfly pose that we started off with today. You could even pop yourself into legs up the wall pose. I know there's quite a few of you that love to have the legs up the wall. So if you have a wall nearby, just pop your mat over there, pop your legs up the wall and use that for your Savasana, your final relaxation. Or if not, if you want to just come into corpse pose, then start to just lengthen the body on the mat, take the legs a little away from the body, palms a little away from the body, soften the shoulders, lengthen the neck and allow the chin to drop down. So whatever position you're in now, I want you to just do a little body scan. Yeah, just take notice of how your body's feeling now. How different does it feel from when we started our session today? Just become aware of that change within your body. And take notice of how your breath is now too. It's just becoming aware of all of those changes. And then just taking a moment to make sure you're comfortable as you can be for the next 5 minutes or so. And then just allowing the breath to come back to its everyday breath. So we're releasing that control over our breathing. Releasing any control we still have over our body. And just allowing ourselves to enjoy the next 5 minutes of peace and harmony. Reveling in that calmness we've created within our practice today. to deepen your breath. Invite that awareness back into your body. Gently wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, bring that movement back. And if you are lying on any props, then just gently roll to one side, remove the props and roll back. You're going to inhale, float the arms up towards the sky, and exhale them behind. Just coming into that lovely full body stretch. Just feeling the energy start to flow back through, that life force. And making any stretching movements that feel good. So you finish stretching, start to just draw the knees into the chest, hug the shins, and make any little last minute movements here to massage the spine into the floor. And keeping the knees hugged into the chest, we're going to allow our knees to drop to the left hand side and roll our head to the right hand side. And then switching sides, just gently roll the knees up, over to the right, and our head really slowly, gently to the left. Roll your whole body over to the right hand side, and just take a moment or two here. No rush, no hurry. Ready, just gently pushing your hands into the floor and bringing your body to a nice upright seated position. So legs can be wherever is comfortable for you, as long as the top part of the body is nice and upright. Just relax the shoulders away from the ears, feel that lengthening through the neck. And we're just going to balance our breath out with our 4-4 breathing here. So close your eyes. Make sure that chin's nice and parallel to the floor, you're sitting upright, your shoulders are down. Just take a normal inhalation and a normal exhalation. Then inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Last round, inhale. And exhale. Draw the right hand to the heart, the left hand to your tummy. May this practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. May this practice heal and strengthen our bodies and our minds. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking part of this practice today. And over the coming weeks and months I will be continuing to add them to my YouTube channel, so please subscribe. It's Gravity Yoga UK. And I want to just send love, happiness, hope to each and every one of you. Namaste.